of Western Michigan. Ambry Thomas is back deep, as is Berkeley Edwards. Ambry Thomas wearing number 1. A short kick. He'll take it from the 15 as Thomas. And Thomas gets hit as he is shy of the 30, around the 28. Took a nice hit. But that's where this Michigan offense will start with the ball. When Michigan has the ball, what are we watching for?
Nico Collins. He needs to win the one-on-one matchups. He's a guy that can stretch the field. 364 days was the last time this team had a receiver with a receiving touchdown. On the other side, Ralph Holley. He's a big guy up front. He needs to control the line of scrimmage. They're going to try to run the ball. This Michigan offensive line struggled last week.
Karan Higdon in the backfield on first down. Patterson to throw, and he completes the pass to his tight end, Zach Gentry. A 10-yard pickup, first down. They'll move the chains.
We talked about those routes to Gentry last week against Notre Dame. Looks like they're getting it going early.
Getting it going early, they are. Just a simple flat route there to get the chains moving.
You see the numbers that Patterson had last week at Notre Dame. Also dealt with some cramping issues, and then we got a chance to see Dylan McCaffrey. Ben Mason in at fullback with Higdon in the backfield as well. And an early timeout is going to be called here by the Wolverines. Some confusion by Shea Patterson and the offense.
Now, this was something Jim Harbaugh told us he was very proud of in South Bend last week. Hostile environment, loud place, very few technical problems with Shea Patterson running this Michigan offense, which is a complex offense with lineups and personnel groups and different things like that. We all know how Jim Harbaugh wants to run it. Early in this game, they have to take a timeout. He's not going to be happy about that. Only one delay a game last week. For the first game in a place like that, that's pretty impressive with a new quarterback.
Jim Harbaugh, as you mentioned, a quarterback in his day here at Michigan. Of course, a longtime NFL quarterback. He's gone on to do great things as a coach. And now it's 1st and 10 after they picked up a first down on a pass to Zach Gentry. Mason in there again at fullback. From the 38, Patterson under center. Flag, a false start will be called here against Jawan Bashel Beatty.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, you don't like that coming out of a timeout.
Yeah, they have to sit in there and hear the snap count. They're home, so it's not a lot of noise by this offensive line. They're going to hear Shea Patterson call the play, but that defensive line shifted and moved. That's what got him to jump off sides there.
1st and 15. Patterson goes into the shotgun. Here's the handoff to Higdon up the middle. And Higdon will get tackled by Antonio Balabani. That's a 3-yard pickup.
Let's talk about Higdon a little bit. Good player, senior running back out of Sarasota, Florida. There's a guy that made the tackle. Gripped him pretty good, but I have to say, Higdon is a strong, good back, kind of a one-stop shop guy. Sort of the guy that Harbaugh likes to have, leave him in the game. Not too many different personnel groupings with the backs.
2nd and 12. It's Higdon again. And Higdon gets tripped up again, gets 2 yards. So 3rd and 10 will be coming up. It's Balabani again with Justin Tranquil to combine for the tackle.
It's not how you want to start the game. 3rd and long. You have to have manageable 3rd downs. Shea Patterson, 11 starts. We have to remember that. He hasn't had a lot of Saturday reps, game time reps. So when you think about 3rd and long situations, you don't want that on your quarterback on the first drive.
Chris Evans comes in here on 3rd and 10. Patterson dumps it off to Evans. Evans, he gets bottled up by a whole bunch of white jerseys, and the defense for Western Michigan makes the stand. Trayshawn Hayward was the first there to make the stop. It'll be a loss of 1.
Just a screen out to the right. Evans pretty simply put together, and great job rallying to the ball by Western Michigan. Now, of course, Michigan put themselves behind the chains with the penalty here, but this is the doubt that we were talking about Western Michigan creating. Get these guys off the field, see what your offense can do.
Will Hart to punt here for the Wolverines. Gets off a good punt. Jaden Reed on the return after a 52-yard punt by Will Hart. Jaden Reed, who had a big game in his debut, as we take a look at what to watch for when the Broncos had the ball.
Well, we talked about Dee Eskridge in the open. We're going to continue to talk about him because this is a guy that can really make things different for Western Michigan. Change a game in a hurry. David Long, Brandon Watson, Lavert Hill, they're going to be right up on him in this football game. And there he is, Devin Bush, simply the most versatile linebacker in the country. He can guard and fit against the run. Anybody one-on-one he can take care of.
On first down, the handoff is to Levante Bellamy. He can go. Levante Bellamy gets outside and gets shoved out of bounds by Tyreek Cannell. A 25-yard run on first down by Levante Bellamy.
He thinks it's the Syracuse defense. This guy went 11 carries, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns, along with 3 receptions last week. Look at him hit that edge.
This guy can play against big-time opponents. Last year against USC, 9 carries for 98 yards. John Wasink passes it out to Bellamy, and this time there is Devin Bush there on the coverage to make the tackle with Josh Metellus.
And he's 230 pounds, and that is a big guy to be able to get out to the sideline that quickly. Levante Bellamy is a 4.3 legitimate 40 on a laser track. So is Dee Eskridge. These guys are fast for any league, and Bush's ability to get out to the sideline is pretty impressive.
Second down and 9. Jamari Bogan in at tailback. Wasink, he'll take the shot down the field, and the man he was going for was Dee Eskridge. Overthrew him, so 3rd and 9 coming up.
It's good to keep them honest. Throw those deep routes, let Michigan know that that's what you're trying to do. Here they are trying to get off that bump coverage.
Yeah, they're stacking like Petros mentioned. Michigan will play a lot of press and run, so Western Michigan will try to shift and motion their receivers to get that press coverage off and let their receivers get it going.
On 3rd and 9. Pressure coming. Wasink rolling out to his right, throws, it's tipped, and it's incomplete. Giovanni Ricci, the tight end, almost got the deflection after it was deflected by Lavert Hill.
Don Brown, the defensive coordinator, told us he's going to bring pressure in this game.
And there you see Bush coming in, but everyone was covered here. Almost a huge interception here from Michigan defense, but good start for this Michigan defense. Last week they gave up 2 touchdowns in the first 2 series. A lot better start for this team this time around.
Nick Mahalik on to punt for Western Michigan. Donovan Peoples-Jones back at his own 15. Fair catch is signaled and made at the 18-yard line, a 35-yard punt. Shea Patterson, the fan base is so excited about this kid. He completed his first pass. What will he do on his next series? No score here, first quarter, Michigan and Western Michigan. Shea Patterson, we talked about how excited the fan base is here. Well, he began his career at Ole Miss. He got the opportunity when Chad Kelly went down, started the final 3 games as a freshman, put up good numbers in 2017, started the first 7 games, and then he suffered the injury, transferred here to Michigan. After the NCAA approved a waiver application for immediate eligibility, transferred in January, got to practice with the team in the spring. And as the starter, Ambry Thomas is in as a wide receiver. Chris Evans, here's Thomas now in motion. A shovel pass to him. Thomas can motor. Thomas trying to get around the edge. And he is going to be out of bounds at the 24-yard line. A 5-yard pickup And DeMarco, you thought we might see Ambry Thomas on offense.
I did. He's an electrifying player. He's a game-changing player that once the ball is in his hands, he has a chance to go to distance. And speaking with Jim and this offensive staff, after seeing that kickoff return that electrified this team, they wanted to give him some opportunities on the offensive side.
A sophomore out of Detroit, Michigan, picks up 5 on first down, so second down and 5. Here's Patterson rolling out to his left, throws on the run, and it is going to be a catch along the near sideline. Hauled in there by Oliver Martin. An 8-yard catch by Martin, but let's see if they're going to review this.
Well, the Western Michigan defense can run, and they can get sideline to sideline. He did possess that ball, but was the knee down out of bounds before he had possession? I
don't know, the toe drag.
Yeah, I think he's in. I think that one's too close to call. He is in. Good job by Martin. 3 receptions last week for him.
Karan Higdon back in at tailback. Hand off to Higdon. Has a bit of a hole, gets twirled around. Picks up 4. Wesley French with a tackle, a former offensive lineman for Western. Converted to nose guard. Was able to twirl Karan Higdon around.
This D-line has been up for the challenge so far. This is a long game and a big line to keep being the punching bag for him.
Again, it's Higdon. And Higdon just carries Ralph Hawley for 4 yards. 3rd and 2. So DeMarco, this is what you're talking about. As opposed to 3rd and 10, now you're 3rd and short here for Michigan.
Manageable situations, 3rd and 2, 3rd and short situations. This is what you want for an offense. They'll probably keep it on the ground here with Higdon or Chris Evans, but these are the type of plays that Michigan needs to find themselves in. They can't be in 3rd and 7 and 3rd and 8 long territory. That won't cut it.
Ben Mason, the fullback, is in with Higdon at tailback. It's Higdon, has the block, has the hole, the first down. He breaks the tackle, makes the cutback. Here goes Higdon, gets tripped up, and he's going to be marked down at the 16. Trayshawn Hayward with the tackle, a 43-yard run by Higdon.
Look at the fullback here, guys, Ben Mason, and watch him clear a path. Pulls around, and here comes Higdon, covering the ball very well, breaking tackles, and really being creative down the field. That's what the Michigan offense needs. Big plays.
It's those two guys in again after the 43-yard pickup. Red zone opportunity. Higdon this time gets bottled up at the line of scrimmage. No pickup. Ken Aguirre with the tackle for the Broncos.
Same play to the left.
Same play to the left, just a stretch play. Good job by Ken Aguirre there, controlling that line of scrimmage. This Michigan offensive line struggled last week, so you see them with some big plays early on the run game. That's going to be great to open up the play-action pass and get the ball downfield to the receivers.
And let's not forget, speaking with Coach Harbaugh yesterday, he said they left 11 points on the board against Notre Dame. You've got an opportunity here if you're the Wolverines. Patterson to McCune. McCune, the tight end, reaching for the end zone, and he's going to be just shy. Marked out inside the 2. Wait a minute. Now it's a touchdown. 17 yards.
Ruling on the field, it's a touchdown.
This will obviously be reviewed. The ruling on the field is a touchdown. The officials got together. Let's take a look.
It looked like Justin Tranquil got caught in the wash there. Nice hit to recover by A.J. Thomas.
Further review.
And he leans, but is any part of his body or the ball over the pylon in bounds? That's going to be tough.
I think that's a touchdown.
It's called on the field. It's going to be hard to overturn.
The replay official is Dennis Lipsky. We're going to check in with Dean Taylor. Said no. Here comes the call.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
So Dean was right. Stick with Petros. Touchdown for Sean McCune.
Terrible advice.
Quinn Nordine on for the extra point for the Wolverines. And don't forget, that was all set up on the big 43-yard run by Higdon, thanks to the block by Ben Mason on 3rd and 2. Seven 0. Michigan leading Western Michigan here in the first quarter. 6'5", 251, showing some acrobatics is Sean McCune. 7-0 Wolverines.
Detroit flavor.
Monte Bellamy and Chase Brown are back deep for the Broncos. And the wind just blew the ball off the tee.
Windy day here, Michigan.
Yeah, it is.
Football weather, though. I love it. I love it.
A little early for football weather this part of the country.
It'll be Bellamy, about a yard deep. And Bellamy gets covered up at the 11. Time for a game break. Let's go back to LA. A Dave & Buster's game break with Greg Wolf.
Justin, thanks. We check in at Camp Randall, number 5, Wisconsin hosting New Mexico. The Lobos strike first. 17-yard drive, or 17-play drive ends with an 11-yard score. Tavaka Tuioti finds Delane Hart-Johnson, former Notre Dame head coach Bob Davie. The Lobos lead 7-3 first quarter. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Greg. Obviously, Wisconsin is on the schedule this year for Michigan, a difficult schedule for the Wolverines. Starting at the 12 are the Broncos. Wasink on first down. Completes the pass to the freshman Jaden Reed. Reed last week against Syracuse, 7 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown. Picks up 7 here on first down.
Jalen Reed can be special. Just like you mentioned, he had a huge game last week. Just a simple hitch there. Very, very electric player if he gets going down the field.
2nd and 3. Bogan takes the handoff up the middle. He's going to get a couple of yards. Rashawn Gary with the tackle. Rashawn Gary, he was ranked by Bruce Feldman as the #1 freak athlete in college football.
Oh, he's on the freak list. 6'5", 280. He looks it. And Bogan is a solid A-gap runner for this offense as well. They have two. They have Bellamy, who's the speed guy, and Bogan, who's the tough guy. Big 3rd down here.
3rd and 1. They've got their tough guy Bogan in there. They give it to him, and he gets the first down. He needed 1, he got 2. It was Gary and Hudson combining for the tackle.
Everybody was right mugged up, but he found a little crease, didn't he?
Awesome job by this Western Michigan offensive line, getting this D-line moving. That's the strength of this defense. They love to get things going, but huge blocking job by this Western Michigan just to get enough and push them to get the first down there.
Now Levante Bellamy comes back in. Levante Bellamy, the speed guy, had that 43-yard run. A little confusion here offensively for Western Michigan. Wasink to throw. Taking the shot down the field for Reed, and it's incomplete. Was covered by Metellus.
Excellent job by Metellus there. He got kicked out of the game last week early on, but he's a good cover guy. You see here, this defense line is coming off the ball, and Wasink just throws it up, wishing for his receiver, but Metellus right there doing an excellent job not getting a pass interference call and really restricting that receiver from making a play downfield.
Here on 2nd and 10. The handoff to Bellamy. Not much room. Rashawn Gary, another tackle. That's his 3rd already.
This Western team is not intimidated by the environment. Most of these guys are from Michigan. They all want to play in the big house. Maybe they wanted to be recruited by UM, but these guys opened up last year at the LA Coliseum. A lot of these guys played in the Cotton Bowl, that great year for PJ Fleck 2 years ago. They're not intimidated by this environment. I kind of am. A lot of people here.
3rd and 7. We know you do so well in crowds. Wasink trying to set up a screen, instead comes near side, and he overthrows the intended receiver. That was Keyshawn Watson, who missed last week. So the defense for Michigan forces the punt again.
They want to bring pressure, and they believe they can blitz. Their secondary is one of the best in the nation, so they believe they can get to the quarterback and pressure on 3rd and long situations, as we saw there. An unbelievable job by that secondary there, covering those receivers up.
Nick Mahalik to punt again to Donovan Peoples-Jones. Peoples-Jones at his own 36-yard line. Fair catch again, signaled and made here by Peoples-Jones. A 41-yard punt by Mahalik. This was the run out earlier, and this was the touchdown by McCune to make it 7-0.
The other half want to see Shea Patterson throw it deep.
Here on 1st down, it's the handoff to Higdon. Higdon has the hole again. Down the sideline. Higdon all the way to the house at the big house. 67 yards.
And those are the type of plays this team needs to have on the ground, running the ball, being effective to get that play action game going, as we saw in the last touchdown. But unbelievable effort and job here by Higdon. You see here, this is just an inside zone from the gun position. It was a wide open play, but Higdon with great speed, and he was able to outrun that defense by a long shot. But those are the type of runs that we need to see from this team. In order to get this offense going, you have to have explosive runs, as we saw there from Higdon.
Quinn Nordine, extra point is good. The last 2 runs for Karan Higdon, 67 yards and 43 yards. This one all the way. That's an explosive play, and it's 14-0. Michigan leading Western Michigan. Ron Higdon, 67 yards.
That's what this offense needs. They need to get this run game going. This offensive line struggled last week, but today they're handling their business, and they're allowing Higdon to get started.
Jake Moody to kick off to Levante Bellamy and Chase Brown. And this will go into the end zone for a touchback. Let's go back to that touchdown run, Petros.
Well, this is what we call easy money. It is an inside zone. You see a really nice block from Bredesen there. But watch Cesar Ruiz, the center, pull around, and there's nobody to block. He's looking around like, where is everybody? I want to hit somebody, and Higdon just has to leave him in the dust. They're going to laugh about that in the film room because, well, Higdon looked a lot faster than Ruiz out there. But linemen like to get out there, out in the open, so people can see them. They look pretty when they run. Absolutely, DeMarco, this Michigan run game is rolling, and this is what Western was afraid of. They were afraid of that size difference up front and being gobbled up. It's happening so far.
This is danger zone right now for Western Michigan. It is Davon Tucker on 1st down, who picks up 2 yards.
Well, don't count this team out. We saw what happened last week. They got down early on and in that first half, but this is a group that's resilient, and they can get back on board and score points. So Coach Lester knows what happened last week. He doesn't want to get that out of him, but this offense can get going pretty fast.
The only problem is you're going up against one of the top defenses in the country in Michigan. 2nd down and 8. Wasink directing traffic at the line. It's Tucker taking the handoff. Trying to cut it back up the middle, takes it up to the 29, and gets 2 more yards. So 3rd and 6 is coming up. Chase Winovich with the tackle.
Oh, Winovich is really something out there. But we've really seen this Western team attacking this great Michigan defense. You see Winovich right there with a lot of balance. They're trying to run the ball. They've taken a couple shots down the field, but they are being relatively conservative given their identity of a real gunslinging team.
Wasink last week threw for a career-high 379 yards. On 3rd and 6, on the slant, completes the ball to his freshman Jaden Reed, who makes the nice tackle, nice play with Lavert Hill all over him.
Accurate throw by Wasink. They say he's a quiet kid, going to be an accountant when he's done playing football. Coach Lester just wants him to relax and play. That's a very accurate ball on 3rd down to a freshman. A lot of trust there between those two guys.
All he has is a 3.97 GPA. I guess that's okay.
They said he's had 1 B, 1 in his life.
Chase Brown taking the handoff, and Chase Brown's going to lose 3 yards on this. Metellus is there with Kwity Paye.
This Michigan defensive line, they're removing this offensive line from the line of scrimmage, not allowing these backs to get started for Western Michigan. Unbelievable job and effort by this Michigan D-line. They're controlling the trenches right now that we mentioned earlier.
On both sides.
Now 2nd down and 13 for the Broncos. Play action. Wasink taking the shot. Looking for Eskridge. In the coverage. Nearly intercepted. Brandon Watson had it in his hands and couldn't come down with it.
Watson's a good player. They were very impressed with him last week. He's in the one-on-one there, pressed right up on top of Eskridge. We talked about that in the open. He's not going to get the cushion he got last week against Syracuse, and Watson's in pretty good position to make the interception. Safety was a little late, Metellus. But what an athletic play by Watson to read the eyes and get his hands in the way.
I think it was Metellus who actually knocked it out of his hands, his own teammate. So it's 3rd and 13. Pressure coming, Wasink rolling out, thrown over the middle, dangerous! That's intercepted! Noah Furbush with the interception.
They love it in the big house. Devin Bush was bringing big pressure on Wasink, and he could feel it from the back.
And that's the guy they want to blitz with. Bush is an athletic linebacker that can run east and west, and he goes north and south. Here, no one blocks him here, and John Wasink is running for his life, and he just throws it up. Bad mistake by Wasink, but good job by Bush allowing pressure on this quarterback and forcing him to throw an inaccurate ball. And there you see a big play by this Michigan defense.
A lot of foliage out there. Devin Bush making the pressure, Furbush making the catch, and you see Wasink's head hit the ground pretty hard there. Nothing out there hits harder than the ground. That was rough.
So great starting field position after the turnover. It's Higdon again on the carry up the middle. This guy's having himself a first half, a first quarter, 19 yards. Trayshawn Hayward with a stop.
But at a certain point, you have to imagine that Tim Dowse, the defensive coordinator for Western, is going to have to start committing more people to the line of scrimmage. They are getting absolutely gashed every time Michigan runs the ball right now. And that'll open things up on the outside. There's Coach Dowse right now. He was worried about that run game, just running his little guys over.
Chris Evans now in at tailback. They give it to him. Why not stay with the run? What's going to lead to? Another touchdown! 27 yards, this time for Evans.
Fantastic run there by Chris Evans. You see here inside zone that Higdon has been hitting all game long. Just great footwork, keeping the ball tight, staying close to that offensive line and allowing himself to get going north and south, but unbelievable job. Really great footwork and great effort there by Chris Evans.
Quinn Nordine for his third extra point of the opening quarter. We came in talking about the passing game of Shea Patterson. It's been the running game so far. 167 yards and 3 touchdowns for Michigan.
They didn't like the film that they saw last week against Notre Dame. They're playing great up in the trenches right now.
Jake Moody to kick off again to Levante Bellamy and Chase Brown. And this will sail into the end zone again. Time for a game break. Let's go back to LA and check in with Greg Wolf.
Justin, thanks. Kevin Sumlin era in Arizona getting off to a rocky start. The season opening loss to BYU. Now down big early on the road at Houston. De'Ara King to Romello Brooker. Petros could have scored on this play. 52-yard touchdown. Cougars lead 21-0 first quarter. Justin, DeMarco Petros, back to you.
I mean, Petros was the captain of USC. Let's give him some love.
I mean, yeah, it makes me sound like I'm a broken down jalopy, which I am.
You were the captain at USC?
Yes, DeMarco.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
We're learning all about each other out here.
Yes, we are.
On first down, Wasink zips it out to Drake Harris, the transfer from Michigan, gets 4, a grad transfer, had 1 catch last week for 10 yards, gets 4 yards here.
They got a few transfers on this Western team. Drake Harris is one of those guys. Graduate transfer, wanted to come back. Big receiver, 6'4", 190. Nice target for Wasink.
Second and 6. Bellamy trying to follow his blockers. Get to the corner, use that stiff arm. And he's going to have himself the first down. Use the stiff arm against Lavert Hill, got 8 yards.
Good looking stiff arm there.
That is a good looking stiff arm, and those are the little things that you have to see from running back. Having the ball in his outside arm, running towards the sideline, and use that stiff arm to get an extra yard or 2.
How about this for Levante Bellamy? First career, he's averaged 7.27 yards per carry.
Oh.
Give a few 80-yard runs, that average goes way up.
Yeah.
That is the end of this first quarter. A first quarter that was all about the Michigan rushing attack. There is a touchdown by Gentry, a touchdown by Higdon, and a touchdown by Evans. 21-0 Michigan.
That'll calm some people down here in Ann Arbor.
Levante Bellamy in the backfield. John Wasink in the shotgun. First and 10 from the 37. It's Bellamy. Nope, kept by Wasink.
But fake.
That was a great fake. Man, got me.
He found himself all alone out there after the fake and just put his foot in the ground and got what he could. This is exactly what the Broncos need right now. Just a couple first downs to give their defense a break. Poor tackling in the backfield. Their front is getting eaten so far. They got to keep that offense out there for a little while.
Second down and 5 after the 5-yard run by Wasink. Bellamy up the middle. Up to the 44-yard line. Gets 2. Rashawn Gary and Khalid Hudson combined for the tackle. 3rd and 3.
2 back-to-back read options by this offense. They're trying to get that backside D in and get a read on him, but look for Wasink to keep the ball next time because that defensive end, he's crashing down. He has to respect Wasink's running ability.
Michigan showing pressure. The pass is complete to Bellamy down the sideline. That's a nice catch by Levante Bellamy out of the backfield.
It's really interesting when you throw a ball to a back because it's just got to be 1 foot in front of that guy's number. You know about this, DeMarco. Look, that's perfect.
That's a perfect throw by Wasink. Having the ball in front of him, leading him to run, continue to run downfield. Good job, good heads-up play. It's not an easy throw going laterally to a back like that.
A 9-yard pickup for the first down. Jamari Bogan comes in. It's the handoff to Bogan. And Bogan able to dive forward. He'll get 3.
Thought he could have kept coming a little bit more and had a little bit more of a game, but Really nice play by the Michigan defense. They can really run well to the sideline. Kwity Paye finished that one off.
He and Bush, those are two guys that are very athletic. They can run downhill, but they like to match Bush up on tight ends and running backs to cover downfield. He's an athletic player, and they love that. You see him here, he's singled up on the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 7. Winovich was showing blitz. Here comes Winovich. And Winovich is there in on the tackle, as well as Josh Ross. A loss of 1 against Bogan.
Huge stick there by Josh Ross. I mean, he's a player that's coming downhill. He's mugged up right here in the A-gap, and he's literally just slipped a tackle and met the running back in the hole. Josh Ross is a man. I mean, that's a huge, hard hit. That's what you want to see.
There is a player down right now for the Broncos. It is left tackle Jalen Moore, the sophomore out of Detroit. The training staff tending to him. 3rd and 8 coming up here for Western Michigan. 12:26 to go here in this first half. Detroit, Dylan Deathridge, the redshirt freshman from Illinois, comes in to take his spot. Let's see if Michigan attacks him. Levante Bellamy in the backfield. 3rd and 8. Wasink plants that foot, throws incomplete. Was going to Drake Harris, but there was Brandon Watson once again on the coverage.
Dwumfor all over him, hitting him right after he threw it. I got to say, Western's doing a good job of chipping these ends and trying to control this Michigan pass rush, but that is a tall order. These guys are coming almost every play, winning one-on-one matchups and blitzing because they have that ability to cover on the edge, one-on-one.
Nick Mahalik again to punt to Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Oh!
Scooped up back the other way and tackled at the 24-yard line. Joe Hewitt able to pick it up after the block by Hudson.
Those are game-changing plays. When you block a punt, that is huge. Great job by the special teams. Here you see they have to stay with that wedge a little longer, but unbelievable job here by this Michigan special teams, and way to be aware of scooping the ball and trying to get as many yards as you can. But you cannot have blocked punts. Special team plays is huge for this Michigan team right now.
That was Hudson that came in and blocked it. Those personal protectors didn't do much personal protecting.
Khaleke Hudson with the punt block. And now how about this starting field position at the 24 of Western Michigan. Shea Patterson has 1 touchdown pass. Karan Higdon in at tailback. McCune, who caught the touchdown in motion. Here's Patterson to the end zone to McCune, overthrows him. He was wide open. Oh, that could have been his 2nd touchdown of the game.
And that was Ali Fayyad with the big pressure on Patterson. Patterson frustrated with himself with the throw. There he is right there with a spin move coming down the gap, and it looks like just a mass of bodies that Patterson ended up in.
First incomplete pass of the game for Patterson. Higdon bounces off the tackler. How about the 2nd effort right there by Karan Higdon? He gets 9. 3rd and 1 coming up.
Good job, good balance there, good physical balance there by Karan Higdon. Here you see the tight end slashing back to get those linebackers moving, and then Higdon just finds the hole, staying tight on his offense line. And what a great run by Higdon, being able to put your hand down and continue to run. That's not easy to do there. Another
missed tackle by the Western secondary, that time Jinwright.
3rd and 1. It's Higdon. He's going to come up short. A stop here
Higdon carried the ball
by Western's defense.
Last week, Coach Harbaugh went for it in the third.
I think
in
he's
the
gonna go
third
for
quarter.
it.
I can see him going for it here just to get that offensive line. Their mentality has to be able to dominate the line of scrimmage. So with this can increase their mental state if they can get this first down right here.
A lot of teachable moments here. You know, you have the special teams moment for Harbaugh, a lot of situational football that really both teams can learn here early in the season. 4th and 1, big time.
Mason in as the fullback with Higdon.
See if he run behind his big left tackle, John Runyon.
Higdon reaching for the first down. He's real close to that marker. And do they signal first down?
First down.
First down. Move the chains. He just got enough.
Look at the fullback, Mason. Just taking it to Hayward. Ooh, that's a big hit at the line of scrimmage.
I loved what Pep Hamilton said about Ben Mason, saying he never shies away from contact, even in walkthroughs.
He's a fullback. He shouldn't.
Nobody likes a walk-through All-American.
Chris Evans in. Patterson now in the shotgun from the 14. Patterson dumps it off. People Jones diving for the end zone. He's going to come up short. Again, it's been almost a full year since a wide receiver for Michigan has had a touchdown.
Here you see Shea Patterson just going through his progression. He finds Peoples-Jones on the shallow route coming. He was close to having a touchdown there. Just like you mentioned, they haven't had a receiver with a receiving touchdown in 364 days, but left foot stepped out of balance there, but good effort by Peoples-Jones.
First and goal from the 2. Evans is in with the fullback Mason. Evans, flag is thrown. Evans stays on his feet, is in for the touchdown. Let's wait to see what the flag is for. It looks like this one's going to stay.
Offside. Defense. Number 58. Penalties decline. Touchdown.
Chris Evans with a touchdown.
Here you see they are following behind the big left tackle, John Runyon. They have ran the ball 3 times in a row behind him, and you see the pulling guard, but good heads-up play by Chris Evans. But this offensive line, they struggled last week, but this game, they are manhandling those guys up front on the line of scrimmage.
Nordine's extra point is good. They went for it on 4th down. They converted. It all started with a blocked punt. It was Khaleke Hudson with the block. And then a touchdown run by Chris Evans. A 2-yard run, his second touchdown of the game. 28-0 Michigan. Wolverines, Bellamy and Brown are back for the Broncos. Another touchback, and it's time for another game break. Greg Wolf in LA, what do you got for us?
Well, we go back to Madison, and it has been a struggle for number 5 Wisconsin the entire first half. Jonathan Taylor fumbled inside the 5-yard line earlier. This time, though, he finishes the job. 16-yard score. Badgers take their first lead of the game. They lead New Mexico 10-7 late second quarter. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Greg. So a close game there in Madison.
Takes a while, you know, to figure out the triple option. Takes about a quarter.
Well, let's see what Western Michigan can do here.
Well, DeMarco was talking about it. They started running some zone read to switch up the look the last drive.
The handoff to Bellamy. Bellamy, nowhere to go. Devin Bush, Rashawn Gary are there. I mean, when you got those 2 guys, 2 preseason All-American candidates, that's just trouble waiting for you.
Not an easy task by any means, but this Michigan defense, they play well. They play hard to the ball, and they're very relentless, playing single high man-to-man match coverage outside, but this front 7 is pretty ideal.
Second down and 10. Crossing to the far sideline. A flag is thrown. The pass is complete. The pass is caught by D. Eskridge. It looks like we may have a pass interference against Lavert Hill.
Well, that's what Don Brown told us yesterday, right? The defensive coordinator. See if he runs a 4-4 if you put your hands on it.
Pass interference. Defense, number 24. The ball be placed in the spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
And I think coach is going to be okay with that penalty. You know, he really wants aggressiveness on the edges, and it's really preventing Western from getting the ball down the field.
Penalty takes the ball at the 35-yard line. First and 10.
Just grabbed him out of the break. Didn't see much there.
At this point right now, the Broncos will take any of those. First and 10 now from the 35. It's kept by Wasik. Wasik in trouble. He's going to lose a lot, and he was shoved late, and there is the flag. Josh Metellus shoved Wasik to the ground after he was out of bounds. This will be a 15-yarder.
Add to the play. Personal foul. Defense, number 7. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic. First down.
That's Khaleke Hudson.
And they struggled last week with a couple penalties that extended the drive for Notre Dame's offense. But here you just have to be smart. Plays up, you made a huge play by stopping them and making them lose 3 to 4 yards. So you can't be too aggressive there. They're going to call that every time when it's the quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Coach Lester was right there protecting his quarterback, yelling and screaming at the ref.
So now at the 40. Able to find Harris open. And Harris gets 9 yards. Tackled by Tyree Cannell. We talk about the defensive coordinator for Michigan.
Ooh, there's one right there.
Look at the numbers that he has put up. He is, talk about a fun coach to talk to. Oh my gosh.
He says this defense is talented, but also angry and aggressive. And that really is the key. These guys really run and get after it every play. You can see they play with a real aggression.
Bogan now in at tailback on 2nd and 1. Pressure coming. Rossing taking a shot down the field. Incomplete. Was looking for D. Eskridge.
He's just not getting the separation that he's used to.
Here you see Eskridge is known. He's a 4-4 guy, releases inside. He's running right into that safety, but heck of a job here by Brandon Watson on just staying in front of him and not letting him outrun him. But Wasik has to give him a chance. The ball was extremely overthrown there.
No doubt.
And Brad Hawkins was coming over as a safety to help out as well. So 3rd and 1. Bogan going up against that stout defensive line will come up short. 4th and very short coming up. Carlo Kemp got that initial push, that surge on the defensive line for Michigan.
Just no movement by this Western Michigan offensive line. They aren't moving this defensive line, so unbelievable job by the big guys, Gary and Solomon up front. Way to stop them, but 4th down here, you gotta, I'm thinking they're gonna run it.
Oh, you're
you
down,
gotta run it here.
You're down 28-0. Bogan's in there. You gotta take the chance. Wasik will keep it. Wasik, he takes the hit. Let's see where the mark is.
Courage.
The mark for the near side says no. I wonder if they're going to challenge or review this.
I don't think he got it there. Great effort by Watson.
Oh,
I'm
man.
not sure if he got it.
He knew he was going to get hit, and he just sacrificed his body. First and foremost, I don't like the call. It's 4th and an inch, and you're in shotgun. Now it's 4th and 5. So he's got 6 yards before anybody hits him, and he goes right into Hudson. Takes a big hit. Hutchinson over the top of him.
On the Western Michigan side, 1st and 10, Michigan.
He was short of the line to gain. There's no doubt about that. Not even close.
The Michigan defense comes up with a stop on 4th down, so now they take over. The offense does. On Western Michigan's side of the field.
We'll see if they get Shea Patterson going and let him play action pass and take a shot downfield on this series.
Couple of flags thrown.
Legal substitution. Defense. 12 players information. 5-yard penalty. first down.
That's a lot of confusion after a turnover. That's really what a fourth down. You go for it on fourth down and you don't get it. That defense has got to be ready to rock and roll right away. Early in the season, some of those logistics escape teams.
1st and 5.
Play action. Patterson taking the shot to the end zone. Touchdown! Nico Collins. There it is. A wide receiver touchdown. 44 yards for Nico.
That's exactly what they want to do. First wide receiver in 364 days with the receiving touchdown. There you see it, Nico Harris. He's a huge threat down the field, one-on-one matchup. Great play action pass. The run game set this play up. Here you see Nico Harris just literally run a pump and go. Confuses the safety. Shea Patterson with the unbelievable throw there. Nico with a great play down the field.
Nico.
With a touchdown finally by this receiving group.
Oh, yeah.
The extra point is good. Nico Collins last week had a 52-yard catch. This time it's a 44-yard catch. Already more catches than last year, more yards than last year, and also more touchdowns than last year.
That's why he's smiling. He's a happy camper.
Moody, no return. Gonna happen here. One more look at this touchdown pass.
Here you see they want to get this run game going, and Shea Patterson on the play action. Nico Collins runs the pump, and Harrison Taylor confused in the backfield. But Nico Collins, this is a guy that can separate and win those one-on-one matchups like we talked about earlier. And this is what they want to do. They want to take shots, but having this run game finally established, that's why the play action pass is working. But a great route there by Nico Collins.
Fast and smooth down the field. That's what Jim Harbaugh told us yesterday. He likes this guy running deep.
Western Michigan hoping for something positive on this drive as Bogan takes the first down carry and gets some positive yards, gets 5. 2nd down and 5 coming up as we approach 6:45 to go here in the opening half.
These Michigan fans have gotten their money's worth so far early. They saw blocked punt, a long pass, the wide receiver touchdown, the ever elusive wide receiver touchdown. The running backs have been running. These guys look pretty good.
And off again. Bogan up the middle will get 3. 3rd and 2 coming up.
You have to open up the playbook a little bit and take some shots. I mean, this Michigan defense, we know they like to play press and run. They're going to single up on the receivers outside, but you have to give your receivers, they have a really good receiving core. You have to give those guys a chance to run some routes and create some separation.
They're getting choked on the edge right now, aren't they? Look at how close those corners are to him.
3rd and 2, Michigan showing blitz. Here it comes. Wasink, the pass is complete to Eskridge, and Eskridge has the first down. And that's one of those things. You say open the playbook up, but maybe they don't have to go down the field. Just a quick slant, just to open it up like that.
Yeah, Eskridge is a 4.3 40 guy. Just a great slant, setting him up outside, coming down the line. And this is the guy you want the ball in his hands.
Wow, nice move, nice use of the hands there to get free.
Bellamy now comes in the backfield. And that should be encroachment offside against the defense.
They're both pointing at each other like it's a mirror.
Khaleke Hudson was the one who went over the neutral zone.
Offside. Defense. Number 59. 5-yard penalty. First down.
They say it was against Noah Furbush, but we're going to say it was Khaleke Hudson. I'm going to trust our spotter, Ken Schreber, up here in the booth.
He's never wrong.
Well, Furbush already has an interception in the game, and he is going to be an astronaut. That's what everybody says, a real astronaut. Aerospace engineer.
Not one you play on TV. Wasik over the middle into double coverage. And that is hung on to, I don't know how, by Jaden Reed. A 10-yard pickup.
Well, that's what you were talking about, DeMarco. Throw it in there. Get some tight routes going.
Definitely. Here you see Watson with the unbelievable ball. I mean, Bush was nearly there, but you see Jalen Reed with the strong catch and strong grab to the ground. This is what they need. They need to let Washington throw the ball and get them down the field a little bit.
The fans saw the replay. They want this one to be reviewed. The replay official, Dennis Lipsky, is going to review it.
Is under further review.
You got to hurry. This offense needs to hurry and get the next play call.
Watch the ball come loose at the very end.
Reed makes the interception. I mean, makes the reception. And he's on top of the ball there. Where does it hit the ground? He's still got it there. Is the finger under? That's Canal,
Yeah.
Doing a good job of not giving up on the play.
Definitely. Just continue to play until the whistle's blown. That's what Coach Brown likes to preach. Play until the whistle, and that's what Canal did there. Good effort.
Kept his arm in there, trying to make it hard. And I don't think this is going to take very long. That's an incomplete pass. Unless they go with the fingernail under the ball. I don't know how long the guy's nails are.
He may have gotten a pedicure recently or a manicure. You never know.
Jaden Reed going to the ground, really making an effort to hold on to it with the hand fighting with Cannell. Does he have that hand under? It doesn't look like it. It looks like the nose of that ball is clearly on the ground.
Well, the bad news is that Reed is headed back to the locker room.
And that is a blow for Western. This guy had a great camp, really came alive about a quarter into the game against Syracuse and Kalamazoo last week. 121 yards in that game.
This Western Michigan team, they don't have a lot of depth. They've had to move some receivers over to the defensive back. So let's see if they maybe switch them over and say, hey, we need you to play some receiver this game.
4:35 to go here in the second quarter. 35-0. Michigan leading Western Michigan.
Michigan has to be happy with the way their team is playing so far. I mean, the first half from this game, as opposed to last week, lights out. And this offensive line, they've been playing very well. They're establishing their identity, running the ball, and letting Shea Patterson be comfortable in the pocket, getting to his first and second progressions through the offense.
It's taking a little while.
A little longer than we anticipated.
There's the play over there when he falls down. He's still got to complete the catch.
Here's the ruling.
After further review, the receiver did not complete the process of the pass. It's an incomplete pass. 2nd and 5 at the 48-yard line on the right hash. Clock operator, please put 4:58 on the game clock. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I want to commend Jerry McGinn on the manners.
Yeah.
Very polite.
Well, in the Midwest.
But it is now 2nd down and 5 here for Western Michigan. We played some Eminem earlier. They're playing some Eminem here in the big house right now. 2nd and 5 with Bellamy in the backfield. Carry, and Bellamy gets chased down from behind by Khaleke Hudson.
Khaleke Hudson has been all around the ball when they've tried to run it. I mean, they're just running read option and bringing Khaleke Hudson at the last second. He's the read, but he's able to see the ball being handed off early. That's why he's able to run to the ball as fast as he is.
He's only a preseason All-American as well, you know.
Big time player there.
3rd and 5. Bellamy's not going to shed that tackle by Lavert Hill. A loss of 7. What a play there by Lavert Hill. just throwing Bellamy to the ground.
Second team All Big Ten guy in 2017. These are physical corners on the edge.
Very physical, not afraid to come up and hit. I mean, for him to make this tackle in space, running downhill, fast as he is, unbelievable effort by Lavert Hill there to get him down. Bellamy in the backfield.
Lavert Hill, 5'11", 181. Bellamy, 185. Nick Mahalik to punt. Donovan Peoples-Jones back at his 19. And the flag is thrown prior to the snap. A delay of game.
Offense, number 39. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Tim Lester obviously not happy with what he's seeing for the second consecutive week in the first half. Last week they trailed 34-7 at the half against Syracuse. 169 yards in that first half, just 52 passing yards. But this week it's 35-0 here in the first half. A low line drive kick. Peoples-Jones muffs it and is able to get back and dive on top of it. Michigan will have the ball at the 14-yard line. When we come back, 35-0. Wolverines lead the 35-0. Michigan leads as they take over from their own 14. Patterson hands off to Higdon. Ron Higdon will get a yard. Ralph Hawley with the tackle.
Ralph Hawley on tackle for us. Gain of 1 on
3 minutes to go here in this first half, which has been a very, very good first half for Michigan. They've gotten the run game going. They've had the passing game going. Defensively, they've looked strong. In special teams, they had a punt block. Higdon up the middle as they used Ambry Thomas as the decoy. He gets 5.
Once he's in the game, the entire defensive antennas, their antennas are up. Fast guy in the game. Just a great wrinkle there for the offense. Pep Hamilton's very smart the way to use him, trying to get this linebacker core, this defensive line going laterally so Higdon can hit it up inside.
3rd and 4 now for the Wolverines. Patterson facing pressure, rolling out to his right. He likes to do that, and he gets his receiver coming back. That's Donovan Peoples-Jones for 15 yards. You said it in the open. He loves to roll out to his right.
He loves scrambling and throwing on his right. This is not an easy throw by Shea Patterson. He's very accurate when rolling to his right, but great comeback route by Peoples-Jones. But Shea Patterson throwing on the run and eluding that tackler, open tackler coming off the edge, but he loves to throw on the run. That's what he does, rolling out to his right side.
Just one incomplete pass, the handoff to Evans. He's going to lose a couple of yards here.
It'll be interesting to see how Pep Hamilton and Jim Harbaugh decide to call this game throughout. Obviously, they got a pretty good handle on Western right now, 35-0 as the first half is almost down to the final minute. How much do they want to show on tape? Michigan's got a long and hard schedule.
Great call. One of the toughest schedules in college football this year. Patterson to his tight end, McCune, who already has a touchdown on the day. He scored the first touchdown of the day. Gets 6 yards back.
Michigan doesn't have a depth chart, but McCune would probably be the 3rd tight end listed if they did have one, and that's 3 targets he's had already with a touchdown.
Last year had 31 catches for 301 yards. 3rd and 5 here for Michigan. Patterson to his left will just throw this one away. Coming up on the State Farm Halftime Show with Rob Stone, Dave Wannstedt, Matt Leinart, and Robert Smith. Chip Kelly and UCLA facing off against number 6 Oklahoma. A bounce-back game maybe for Khalil Tate. And the Pac-12 showdown coming up on the farm. USC against Stanford. That game should be a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, we saw that Stanford team last week, the 3 of us, and They really did look much more balanced than they did last year. Tight ends, wide receivers, a lot of different guys can make plays.
Will Hart kicking to Tyler Arnett. Another booming punt. Arnett goes back to field it at his own 5. And that's one maybe you let it bounce and go into the end zone.
Maybe. He got away with that, though.
In case you're joining us late, well, here's what's happened for Michigan. Shea Patterson, 9 of 11, 117 yards, including the first touchdown to a wide receiver in 364 days. Karan Higdon, Chris Evans, they've combined for 3 touchdowns, 184 yards on the ground on 16 carries. Evans a couple of touchdowns. Higdon has 1. Sean McCune has the other. 19 seconds to go here in the opening half. The handoff to Bellamy up the middle. And, you know, it's funny, I'm looking down at the timeouts remaining. Remember how Michigan had to call that early timeout? We thought, man, Coach Harbaugh is going to be really upset about that. I think he may have gotten over it. A 35-0 halftime lead for the Wolverines over the Western Michigan Broncos. Let's go to LA and Rob Stone in the studio. It is Michigan to kick off here to open up the second half. Jake Moody will kick off. Back deep, Levante Bellamy and Chase Brown. And once again, it'll be a touchback off the foot of Moody.
It's a very interesting start to the game for Jim Harbaugh. They elected to receive. Usually a Jim Harbaugh team wants to play defense first and receive the ball in the second half. But I think they have something to prove with the offense. And just like DeMarco was talking about, they proved it. Now here's the Western Michigan offense. You saw what Wasink did. I thought he showed a lot of courage. Bellamy looks like a good back, but they are really up against something in this Wolverine D.
Bellamy in that first half, 45 yards, but he had 1 carry of 25 yards in that first half. He starts here in the second half. He'll take the handoff, and Bellamy, a good run here on first down to open up the half, gets 9, tackled by Josh Metellus.
Brought down by
There you see, they're not going to shy away from their offense. They want to continue to run the ball and continue to let Bellamy. He's averaging over 7 yards a carry. So this play action pass will start to open up for Western Michigan, but they have to stretch the field and really make these corners play down the field.
Second down and 1 here for the Broncos. Pass to the tight end. Bounces off of one. Odell Miller gets the first down. Odell Miller, 6'3", 270.
That is a big boy right there coming down.
Look at this. Look at him bounce right off, and poor David Long. He stays with it, but that's a hard guy to tackle.
I give Long credit. I give Long credit for staying up and trying to take on the big fella there.
Wow. David Long just felt the brunt of Odell Miller. Wasink, the quick pass out to Harris. And Drake Harris, the grad transfer from Michigan, gets 3. Josh Ross with the tackle. Jalen Moore, who left the game earlier, is back out at left tackle for Western Michigan. So that's a good sign for the Broncos.
Absolutely. You don't want to have one of your starters go down, get beat up in the big house.
On 2nd and 7, Wasink to Bellamy, and it goes off the hands of Bellamy. He had it. You know, we talk about this Western Michigan Broncos team, and they had this play set up perfectly, but we saw the injury earlier to Jalen Moore. He's back out there, and you said, Petros, you don't want to lose these guys to injuries. Last year, Western Michigan had 21 season-ending injuries. Wasink was one of those players. 5 running backs, 5 wide receivers, 5 DBs, all lost to season-ending injuries.
Tough year, but a great learning experience for Coach Lester, he told us.
3rd and 7 now. Wasink steps up in the pocket. Now he's going to run for the first down. Where did he go down for the slide? He's going to come up short, about a yard short. He saw that pressure coming, and he went down. He missed time last year with a broken collarbone. He didn't want another one.
Good job of Wasink stepping up, filling up pressure by Gary there, but you have to have awareness. It's 3rd down. You have to get that first down. You can't slide. He could have dove and got the first down there. You have to have more awareness there to get the first down.
Tyreek Cannell was the one coming up.
Remember that 4th and 1 when he dove, Justin?
Yep.
I think he wants to do that again.
It's 4th and 1 right now. Opening drive of the second half. Play clock down to 4, and a timeout will be called here by Western Michigan.
Timeout. Western Michigan. Their first of the half.
A smile by Tim Lester. He's calm, cool, relaxed as we open up this 3rd quarter. Prince. 4th and 1 here for the Broncos. Opening drive of this 3rd quarter for Western Michigan. Bellamy gets stuffed at the line. There's Devin Bush, the All-American.
Huge run stop by Devin Bush. He is athletic. He is a monster in the middle. He's very strong. He can cover, but you see him here going downhill and meeting Bellamy in the backfield. What an unbelievable play by Devin Bush there.
He did not move an inch. I mean, Bellamy tried his best. He lowered his shoulder. He brought him some power, but Bush was not having it. This guy is unbelievable. What's up with his hair? Does he wow, his hair is cut, and then he's got dreadlocks in the back.
It's a little different there, I mean, but
business in the
whatever
front,
works.
Party in the back, baby.
That is the ultimate business in the front, party in the back. I've never seen a party like that in the back.
Here on a 1st down, it's Higdon on the carry.
Chris Evans, the ball carrier.
That was Evans, Chris Evans on the carry. He gets 5. First half, a lot of good numbers offensively. Shea Patterson, 9 of 11, 141 yards, a couple of TDs, including one to his wide receiver, Nico Collins. Karan Higdon, 161 yards, averaged over 11 yards per carry. Nico Collins had that 44-yard touchdown catch. 2nd down and 5. Another good run here by Evans, as Evans will take it down to the 24-yard line. He gets 18. Trayshawn Hayward with the tackle.
Now, he is not the tackle breaker for this Michigan offense, but watch how many tackles Evans breaks. It's like 4. 2, 3, 4. Wow. I mean, this guy is running with a purpose. 5'11", 215 pounds out of Indianapolis. Only 1 yard last week on 2 carries.
He's got his fullback in there with him. He's trying to wait for the hole to open up. No gain. Alex Grace there with the tackle. Alex Grace, a special teams guy in the past, now a starter, had a career-high 13 tackles last week in the game against Syracuse.
I know Shea Patterson wants to throw the ball, and they've got to get him more comfortable in this offense.
True Wilson now in at running back. Patterson rolling to his right. High throw, incomplete. The pass intended for Grant Perry. Time for a game break. Let's go to LA and check in with Greg Wolf.
All right, thanks. Over on Fox, DeMarco's going to like this. Number 6, Oklahoma facing UCLA, and it looks like life after Baker Mayfield, they just might be all right. Kyler Murray, 10-yard touchdown run. Sooners scored on 3 straight possessions. They lead 21-7 second quarter. Justin, DeMarco, Petros, back to you.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much, Greg. 35-0 here, 10:32 to go in this third quarter. 3rd and 10. Patterson, pressure coming, steps up, flips it off to Wilson. Wow, how he got rid of that, how he knew where Wilson was, that was impressive. It's a 3-yard pickup when it looked like it was going to be a sack.
Heads up play there by Shea Patterson, being able to get the ball out of his hands and not take that sack. Last week he took a couple sacks and got them out of field goal range, but here you see him step up, nowhere to go, free rusher, but just to know where your last progression read is, finds his back just to get him back to the line of scrimmage.
Quinn Nordin on for now a 40-yard field goal attempt. And that will be no good. So a stop here by the Western Michigan defense. 9:44 to go here in the third. 35-0, Michigan leading. Coach P.J. Fleck, row the boat. Western Michigan takes over at the 22 after the missed field goal. Wassink on first down, pressure, and he gets sacked. Rashawn Gary, a loss of 4, his 7th tackle of the game, his first sack of the game.
Here you see Rashawn Gary right here. This guy is going to beat the left tackle. He may be still injured, but Rashawn Gary is very relentless. Great hands, use of his hands there, getting to the quarterback. Unbelievable job there by Rashawn Gary, getting after the quarterback and beating his man one-on-one.
Second down and 14. Past the sideline is incomplete to Drake Harris. Lavert Hill there on the coverage. 3rd and 14 coming up.
These are the type of plays, obviously, Coach Lester wants his team to stay out of. 3rd and long situation. They've got to work a lot of situational football today, but not a lot of success. This Michigan defense has really raised a lot of problems for what usually is a very explosive Broncos offensive unit.
They love to mug these backers up inside here. Watch Bush, potential blitz here, or one-on-one with the running back.
Wassink, incomplete pass. D. Eskridge was looking for the flag against David Long, didn't get it. And that will force the punt.
Offense is just out of sync right now. This passing game hasn't helped the run game, so they have to draw something up on the sideline and get these receivers going.
Let me ask this, though. Is it out of sync, or is the defense just so good right now for Michigan?
Well, the defense is good, but this receiving core is pretty good, too. Last week we saw some of them take some big plays, but you have to make these defensive backs play the game.
Nick Mahalik to punt again, just gets it away. Peoples-Jones with a fair catch at his own 49. Good starting field position again for Michigan. It has been all Wolverines here in this one. The home opener for Michigan. 35-0. They lead Western Michigan here in the third quarter. 7,601, that's capacity. Shea Patterson under center. Chris Evans in at tailback. Patterson setting up the screen for Peoples-Jones. Peoples-Jones can't break away from the tackle. A good tackle by Stephon Claiborne. Time for a game break. Let's check in with Greg Wolf.
All right, Justin, we go back to Madison, number 5, Wisconsin. They have officially woken up. Jonathan Taylor, 5-yard touchdown run. The sophomore, his 4th career 200-yard game. Badgers have added another touchdown. They lead at 30-7 over New Mexico, 4th quarter. Back to you guys.
So Wisconsin now in control of that one over the Lobos. 2nd down and 10. Here from Michigan, Evans straight up the gut. Evans with a nice cutback, gets a block. Another big play by the Wolverines. This one goes for 27 yards by Chris Evans.
Good job here by Chris Evans. Just a read option here. This offensive line doing well. Gentry coming back, making a key block. Chris Evans with great footwork heading into that secondary, making some big plays on the ground on today.
Michigan 233 yards on the ground today. Patterson lobbing one up. Peoples-Jones going for the one-handed catch, and there's the flag.
I'm not sure who they're going to call that on. I mean, Peoples-Jones had a big arm out too.
Anton Curtis was defending him.
There is a penalty flag.
A lot of hand fighting with the
Pass
ball in here.
interference. Defense, number 9. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
He had the jersey, and that'll get it every time when the number 9 starts to look like a number 8.
Handful of jersey he had there.
Well, Anton Curtis was one of those guys who was a wide receiver for Western. Actually, in fall camp, moved from wide receiver to DB. Last year, he had 211 receiving yards as a wide receiver. So now it's 1st and goal from the 9 here for Michigan.
And you see what Harbaugh's doing, nothing too complicated. Wide receiver screen, a go route, just trying to get Patterson in rhythm. DeMarco, would you describe that as a patient run right there by Evans?
I would say that was a patient run. You're not always going to get the 8, 10, 20-yard run. There was not a lot to see. There was not a lot to go there. But Chris Evans, just to get back to the line of scrimmage, it was a good job by this Western Michigan's defensive line. But just to be able to get back to the line of scrimmage here.
That was the previous throw. 2nd down and goal here from the 6. Again, it's Evans. And a good job by the defensive line. Deshaun Foster with a tackle. A 2-yard pickup for Evans.
And that's 2 straight tackles by Drake Spears, who was out, ejected last week for a targeting penalty. He's doing a good job bottling Evans up in that regard, getting his first action of this game here in the 3rd quarter.
3rd and goal now from the 5 here for Michigan.
See if they use Gentry here. He had some big catches last week with wide option.
Patterson to the corner. Peoples-Jones, touchdown. We'll have to make sure he got the foot down. It's called a touchdown on the field.
Perfect ball placement by Shea Patterson. Peoples-Jones runs a corner route, and Shea Patterson put the ball only where Peoples-Jones can catch it. Here you see he's looking at him all the way. He knows where the ball should go, and Peoples-Jones makes a good catch, gets his foot down, and unbelievable ball by Shea Patterson, being able to put the ball where it needs to be.
That was a touchdown in the NFL as well. They went 364 days.
He'll be in the NFL someday, I'm sure.
Without touchdowns by a wide receiver. They've got 2 in this one. It's 42-0 Michigan. Michigan.
Oh, it's an abundance. It's a cornucopia. I tell you one thing that Pep Hamilton did tell us is how much he loves Peoples-Jones because of the chip on his shoulder, and he does. He plays with a lot of attitude.
Moody's kickoff goes out to the back of the end zone.
Moody again with a touchback. There is Pep Hamilton.
10, Western Michigan.
I remember Pep when he was at Stanford. They had Mason, the coach at Vanderbilt, Derek Mason. They had Pep Hamilton. Those were the 2 coordinators, and David Shaw as the head coach. That's a pretty good staff.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He wanted to get this run game going. He mentioned it as we spoke with him, and he has to be happy with the way this offensive line is playing and the way that the backs are running downhill, making those explosive plays to get Shea Patterson going and get these receivers chances on one-on-one matchups in the secondary.
237 rushing yards for Michigan so far in this game. Wasik just gets the play off. He's got an open receiver, Keyshawn Watson. And Watson, he'll get 7.
You know, it's interesting because we've seen no space on the edge, but those slot guys do have a lot of space for those hitch routes, don't they?
They do. You can see the corners pressed heavy outside, but the safeties are playing back and allowing them to catch those 3-4 yard gains. But, you know, They're not doing much outside.
No.
2nd down and 3. Wasick stepping up. Takes a hit.
John
Josh
Wasick
Ross
gets the ball.
with the hit, but a 3-yard pickup in the 1st down. John Wasick, 6'2", 200 pounds. He just put his body on the line right there.
He did right there. Way to be aware and get the 1st down, but huge hit there by Ross. Unbelievable hit. Yeah, you don't want your quarterback taking those shots, but heads-up play, you see earlier in the game, he slid before the 1st down. Now he wouldn't got the 1st down there.
1st and 10. Wasick to his tight end, Giovanni Ricci. Gets 8.
Pass complete to
Ricci
Giovanni Ricci.
chased down by Brad Hawkins.
They do like Giovanni Ricci a whole bunch. They want to get him more touches. He did drop a couple balls last week early in the game. He's trying to get these guys confidence. It's a long season for both these teams.
Second. Hand off to Chase Brown. Nice move. Brown. He cannot escape Devin Bush and Josh Ross. A loss of 1.
They are relentless. I mean, he looked like he had the edge and he could just get it, but man, Devin Bush does not want to give up an inch.
That's the speed that we talk about from Bush. You see the running back having the edge, stiff-arming Bush, but Bush being relentless and continuing to play. I mean, he's just a fast guy laterally, east and west, and he can cover. He'll be playing on Sundays. He's a huge asset for this defense.
3rd and 3 now. Wasick setting up the screen. Chase Brown not going to have it. Brad Hawkins is there. Another loss. This time a loss of 3.
Well, we've seen a lot of missed tackles by the Western secondary in this game. We have not seen that on the Michigan side. These guys are sure tacklers all the way to the ground. Just a great break and a great aggressive, clean hit.
7th tackle for a loss on the day by the Michigan defense. Nick Mahalik to punt to Donovan Peoples-Jones. Fair catch signal. Peoples-Jones running up to make the play. Well, tomorrow the NFL is back on Fox. It all starts with Fox NFL Sunday as Michael Strahan sits down with Odell Beckham Jr. just signed that new big contract. Then the Giants take on the Jags, followed by America's Game of the Week as Zeke and the Cowboys battle Cam and the Panthers, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Check your local listings.
I like another Cowboy running back better.
Well, it's good to see Zeke back and playing a full season for the Cowboys. They should be good this year, made some changes, but having Zeke back for a full season, we'll see how they do this year.
No Dez Bryant anymore with the Cowboys. No Jason Witten anymore for the Cowboys. 3:03 to go here in this 3rd quarter. Evans takes the handoff up the middle.
He's an interesting back there, DeMarco. I like how he's patient and calm right there in the center of the defense. Really kind of smooth.
Very smooth here, run by Evans, but he has a lot of patience. You see on the power plays, just the power play, you have to stay A gap to A gap, right side or left side of that center, and Evans just showing some patience and letting his offensive line do the dirty work and gain 6 yards there.
10 carries, 86 yards, an average of 8.6 yards per carry. You're welcome.
It's not a bad average.
I could not get into Michigan, but I just impressed those Michigan folks.
Boston University is a fine institution.
Patterson, play action. Throws incomplete. Oliver Martin couldn't hang on. It was a little bit behind him, but that's one that if you ask him, he'll say, I should have caught it.
He saw Treshaun Hayward, who started this game at will linebacker, just kind of bearing down on him. See, they kind of caught eye contact. He decided not to catch it.
He was worried about the hit rather than the ball right there, I can tell you that.
3rd and 5. They got the wave going here at the big house.
Should we get in on that?
It's coming our way.
Arms up, Petros.
Patterson keeps it. And he's got the first down. Runs out of bounds at about the 47 of Western Michigan. 16 yards scamper by Shea Patterson.
Smart play here by Shea Patterson just to read. You see him read number 7 here. He goes down and Shea Patterson keeps it outside. And ball in the left arm. Get out of bounds. Don't get hit, Shea Patterson. They don't want to see you take a hit. But smart play there, getting the first down by Shea Patterson, keeping the ball on the read option.
True Wilson now in at tailback. Once again here for Michigan. Wilson lowers that shoulder. He'll get a couple of yards.
True Wilson was the ball carrier.
Trayshawn Hayward with a tackle.
Early in this game, you saw what Tim Dowse, the D coordinator of Western, wanted to do: move his guys around, get Michigan running sideline to sideline, avoid situations where they're one-on-one and kind of being buckled by this Michigan offensive line that DeMarco's been talking about all afternoon. That has not happened.
Patterson under pressure. They're going to roll that a fumble.
A fumble?
I believe so. Let's wait and see. There was no whistle. Do they mark him down?
You saw the beanbag come out, and he said
Incomplete pass.
they changed the call.
Alex Grace, he was the one who got the pressure on Shea Patterson.
This should still be intentional grounding, though. Well, first of all, he's down.
He's down. He's down.
Yeah. And it should be grounding because that ball didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, even if he was past the tackle box. So either way, bad play for Patterson. Should have just taken the sack in that situation, which he ended up doing.
Yeah, he has to get rid of the ball. You have to
Going on
know.
the field is intentional grounding offense. The previous play is under further review.
Those are situations where Shea Patterson has to take his game to another level by simply living to fight another down. You have to throw the ball away there, but you can't always be a hero. But being a playmaker like he is, he wants to put the weight on his shoulders. He always wants to make a play, but that's the kind of player he is.
Honestly, I think right now that Dean Blandino and Mike Pereira are a bit nervous as we bring Dean in, because Petros is all over every one of these calls.
I pay attention in the seminar.
Dean, explain.
You did pay attention at the seminar.
Yeah. He was a great
I'm
artist.
taking the rest of the day off. I'm taking the rest of the day off because Petros has it clearly down before he released the football. So replay should put him down. The referee did call intentional grounding, so that flag will be picked up, and we'll put the quarterback down about the 39-yard line, it looks like.
Perfect. So Petros is on ball. So basically what we're saying is if there's ever a week that you need off, Petros can fill in for you.
It's the only thing I haven't done.
After further review, the quarterback was down at the spot of the flag. It'll be 3rd down. The clock will start on the ready for play.
So Alex Grace gets credit with a sack. And it's a 16-yard sack for Alex Grace. And the clock will start now as we are under a minute to go here in this 3rd quarter. Great protection by the line. Takes the shot over the middle, and it's dropped this time by Grant Perry. That was a good pass by Shea Patterson. And that, to me, is a drop by Perry.
Perry needs to be about an inch or two taller, only 6 feet tall, and he really had to stretch for that one. But good patience in the pocket by Patterson, recognizing the protection was good. Oh, that's high, Justin. That is high. Tell him DeMarco is high.
I don't know, Petros. That's a ball. That's a ball Grant Perry has to catch there. Those are play-making ability plays that this receiver group has to make.
As this ball will go into the end zone for a touchback. College football continues later today as rivals Iowa and Iowa State go head-to-head. You better believe it that Pac-12 powerhouses square off as Bryce Love and Stanford battle USC. It's all on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Bryce Love, can he recover after last week's game against this USC team? Or does KJ Costello use JJ Arcega-Whiteside again in the receiving core?
You know, I think that Stanford showed that they're a lot more balanced than people thought.
I agree.
You're going to see a bigger day from Bryce Love against that USC D.
14 seconds to go here in this third quarter. Levante Bellamy is in the backfield. Ausick completes the ball to D. Eskridge.
Lossing's pass complete to D. Wayne.
10-yard completion.
Brandon Watson.
Eskridge going up against Brandon Watson. And that will lead us to the end of this third quarter. 42-0. Michigan leading Western Michigan as we go to the fourth.
Should I check Twitter?
We are back here at the Big House. 42-0. Michigan leading Western Michigan. As we start the fourth quarter, Justin Kutcher, DeMarco Murray, Petros Papadakis with you here on FS1. Dean Blandino back in studio. On first down, Bellamy takes it across the 35 to the 36, gets 6. Brandon Watson with the tackle. Guys, let's talk big picture right now. As Western Michigan has the ball, they're down 42-0. Let's talk about Michigan, because there's been a whole lot made about the Wolverines, especially after last week. Opened up the season on the road at Notre Dame. They lose that game by a score of 24-17, and everyone's starting to hit the panic button as Bellamy takes it up the middle for the first down. And I think we all agree it was a bit too early for the panic button, because it's a tough opening week matchup.
It is. You know, going down there and playing the Irish, a really good football team, but you have a good, solid team with this Michigan team. If they can continue to get this run game going, they have a strong defense, probably one of the best defenses in college ball. So now you're seeing this is what they want to do. They want to run the ball. They want to take some shots downfield and let Shea Patterson be the quarterback they expect him to be. So I definitely think they pushed the panic button a little too fast.
Speaking of taking a shot downfield, a lot of arm wrestling going on between Eskridge and David Long. No flag as we take a look at the road ahead for Michigan. Sponsored by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. This is what's so tough. When you look at the schedule for the Wolverines this year, you see all those ranked teams, but you go at Northwestern, you're at Ohio State, you're at Michigan State. It's not an easy road for this team that last 18 games under Harbaugh, they're 9-9.
That's a tough conference, and Jim Harbaugh coaching Michigan, you're going to get everybody's best shot, and that's why I applaud Michigan starting out the season and playing against Notre Dame. It's a great dipstick to find out where you're at. I mean, I heard Joe Klatt make the point on the radio. Who played better last week, Michigan or Penn State? You know, Penn State got taken to the wall and beat Appalachian State in overtime at home. Now, Michigan had a hard-fought battle and really kind of got their sea legs under them in the second half. I think this is a confident football team with a great defense.
Third down and 6. Movement. There's the flag. It looked like Miles Sims.
Offside. Defense. Number 6. 5-yard penalty.
Excuse me, that's Josh Uche who jumped off. And I think it's a great point. You mentioned the defense, and that's why we talked about it in the open. under Harbaugh, they haven't really had that quarterback who can air it out, they can trust. And that's why they're wondering, is Shea Patterson that guy? And if he's that guy with his defense, then maybe they've got something. Vossing to keep it.
Yeah, I believe Shea Patterson is the real deal. We've seen today, even last week, he had some cramps late in the game, but today he's played a phenomenal game. He's a guy that can run it, obviously, but his ability to get outside the pocket, throw on the run, and give these receivers chances to continue to run once they catch it, I mean, he's phenomenal. He's a smart quarterback, and he knows his offense.
I agree. I think his creativity, coupled with this Michigan run game, and his ability to just move around a little bit in the pocket, make something happen, is pretty special.
A timeout taken here by Western Michigan with 4th and 1.
Great fans they have. I mean, this place is rocking from start to finish.
It is 4th and short here for Western. It's going to be the quarterback keeper, Vossing. This one's really close.
I like that better than what they were doing out of the shotgun on the previous short yardage plays.
And it looks like they're going to give him the first down.
Why people ever get in a shotgun to run short yardage is way beyond me. I mean, you're right up there on the line of scrimmage. Get up on the line of scrimmage.
And he gets pushed by his tight end, Odell Miller.
Oh, yeah, big O.
270. That helps. Vossing. Nearly hauled in by Eskridge. Little back shoulder throw for Eskridge against Brandon Watson.
He's got some pretty good tricks, though, doesn't he? That was a great underneath move just to have a chance at that ball. He's a pretty explosive player.
Big difference for Eskridge going up against the Syracuse defense and this Michigan defense.
Brandon Watson has done a great job on Eskridge all game, being in his face, putting hands on him. As we spoke to Don Brown, we want to press and not let him get going early on, but Brandon Watson has done a great job on Eskridge this game.
2nd down and 10. Pass is caught by Keyshawn Watson. A 5-yard completion. Brandon Watson there for the tackle. But let's go back to what we were talking about before the break in regards to Michigan. And we talked about it in the open. They are trying to find their identity offensively.
Yeah.
Do you think, after watching this game, had they found an identity? Have they found their identity?
Yeah, they want to establish the run and then throw the ball downfield. It's pretty simple, and we saw him come out and do that. It just had some really long runs to start the game.
It all starts up front with this offensive line, led by John Runyon, the left tackle. If they can continue to open holes and give Shea Patterson time down the field and make his reads, I think they'll be fine. But I think they found their identity with the run game. They've done an unbelievable job of getting to the second level and scoring touchdowns, not just getting tackled, but they've done a great job of scoring long rushing touchdowns this game.
It doesn't hurt when you have a defense like this to play with. A great play again by David Long, the cornerback there. These guys are stout all the way through at every level. Really impressed with the Wolverine defense because this is a good offense that the Broncos have. Western
Michigan going for it again here on 4th down, obviously trailing by 42. This time it's 4th and 5. Vossing threw behind his receiver Watson. And a turnover on downs here. 11-14 to play here in this 4th quarter. Michigan leading 42-0 over Western Michigan.
Back to the big house, Michigan up big against Western. Shea Patterson's day is done, but he has proven himself to the fans at home in the home opener. Moved around pretty well, threw the ball downfield just enough for people to be happy and showed some poise in the pocket. Just like DeMarco said, it looks like Michigan has found their quarterback, Justin.
He had a good day. Couple of touchdowns. And now it's Dylan McCaffrey in. And on the first down, he hands off to True Wilson. With 3 touchdowns on the day for Patterson. A 13-yard run for number 13. Dylan McCaffrey, the redshirt freshman. Last week at Notre Dame was 4 of 6 for 22 yards. The younger brother of Christian McCaffrey. The great back who played at Stanford, now for the Carolina Panthers.
He's taller.
He is taller, a lot taller. True Wilson. Good run here by Wilson. Dylan McCaffrey, 6'5", 217. You kind of wonder, if you're Christian, how come I didn't get the height?
He got the speed. He got the speed. He got the height. Christian got the speed.
McCaffrey. He gets wrapped up.
Nice block on the edge there by True Wilson. Got the crowd a little bit excited with a flipping player. The one thing that Jim Harbaugh and Pep Hamilton said about Dylan McCaffrey, who had to come in last week at Notre Dame when Shea Patterson cramped up, is that he was very poised, and they weren't surprised about that. And he had a great grasp of the offense, and that wasn't a surprise either.
It's important for your number 2 to get some reps. Obviously in practice, he has reps, but to get game reps on Saturdays inside this stadium, it's important to have your number 2 quarterback get some game reps.
There's True Wilson up the middle, takes out the umpire as well. But he gets the first down, gets 8 more yards. Alex Grace gets credit for the tackle.
And if Grace didn't make the tackle, True Wilson, the third back we've seen today for the Wolverines, would have had a touchdown. That would be one for all 3. You see True Wilson, or excuse me, Alex Grace come in there on True Wilson and just get him around the waist enough to get him down.
272 rushing yards for the Wolverines today. McCaffrey keeps it. McCaffrey says, hey, I got the height and the speed. Come on. He gets 10 yards.
Coach Harbaugh showing a little something with his backup quarterback, making people practice the zone read against him and playing fast.
McCaffrey rolling out to his right, throws, completes the pass, diving to the end zone. Touchdown, Jacob McCurry.
Good job by McCaffrey rolling out. They like to get these quarterbacks outside the pocket. Not only can Shea Patterson run and throw on the run, but so can McCaffrey. You see here, finding his receiver on an out route and making an unbelievable catch, unbelievable play, making the defender miss, getting into the end zone. Good offensive series there, led by McCaffrey.
I know Michigan doesn't have a depth chart, but if they did, 43's not on it.
He made a great play, McCurry.
Oh, everybody loves seeing it. McCurry, you saw the whole sideline erupt. Those are wonderful things in a game that you have pretty much in hand. There's Harbaugh talking to him. Maybe that's the first time they've spoken.
Yeah.
Quinn Nordine, extra point is good. McCaffrey and McCurry celebrating the touchdown, the first touchdown pass of McCaffrey's career.
Nothing worse than scoring a touchdown.
He's getting player of the game.
Nothing worse than scoring a touchdown and having to run down on the kickoff. Nothing.
Well, the way that Jake Moody's been kicking off, he won't have to worry about it. And it's time for a game break. Greg Wolf, what do you have for us?
Big performance back in Madison. Jonathan Taylor, 6th in the Heisman voting last year. He's made an early season statement. 5-yard score sets a new career high. 253 yards on the ground. 3 touchdowns. Number 5, Wisconsin. Slow start, but a strong finish. They beat New Mexico 45-14. Back to you guys.
Wow, I would say that is a nice statement.
Yes. Fast, skilled back there. Jonathan Taylor is one of the best backs in the country. Having a huge game.
Probably the best in the conference.
On first down here, the handoff to Chase Brown, gets outside. And Chase Brown, who the coaching staff say might be the most talented of the 3 backs, picks up 15 for Western Michigan.
Good run by Chase Brown. Strong stiff arm by him. I love to see a stiff arm by the running back.
All right, what's the one stiff arm that you had that you remember in your life that you just actually destroyed somebody?
Oh, there were so many. I can't think back that far. I had a pretty good stiff form. I wasn't too bad. Not too bad on the stiff form.
There was one.
Hit me with like 5 since we've been up here.
Well, you're so close to me. I need some room. I need some room every now and then.
Giving him the Heisman.
We saw 2 good runs from Brown, one on the outside and one on the inside that time. Showed a little skill.
Justin Kutcher, DeMarco Murray, Petros Papadakis here in Ann Arbor. Dean Blandino with us from LA. Under 8 to go here in this 4th quarter. Brown able to bounce it outside again as he gets shoved out of bounds by Josh Metellus. Another 15-yard run here by Chase Brown.
They're taking him out. I thought he was going back in for more. That's 3 straight pretty good runs by the guy. I can't believe he's not breathing harder.
Yeah, that's pretty. He's in shape. They should have used him a little early in this game, but he's dipping and dodging in and out of the hole, going outside there. Good run there by Brown.
Now Davon Tucker comes in. 49-0. Michigan leading. Tucker. Bottled up. This defense for Michigan, we talked about it for a while, but a couple of things. In the conversation with Don Brown, they've had such success. They led the nation in pass defense the past 2 years. He said, if you don't want to play press coverage, don't come here. I loved when he said that.
That's their style.
That's their style. He doesn't mind putting his defensive backs on islands. This one-on-one coverage from start to finish, that's what they've been doing all game, and they can play. They are physical, but they are smart when the ball is in the air, not getting defensive pass interference. They've been outstanding all game.
On 2nd down and 8. The pass is complete to Tyron Arnett.
And just like Justin said, he contests every throw, contest every throw, and that's what Don Brown wants. And you see him, he's still coaching hard. And this press coverage really allows you to do so much within the box with your other players.
Now 3rd and 1, falling forward, but I think just shy.
Go for
Tucker. Oh yeah, there's no doubt. But in addition, this is what he also said. He said, point number 1, you got to have dynamic ability to chase the quarterback. Number 2, guys have to be able to cover. We've seen that. Point number 3, don't overcomplicate things.
When you have great athletes like they have, you don't want to overcomplicate. Man-to-man, matchup, play your game. Man versus man.
Well, right now they have it, and look at this. Wasink has gone back in the shotgun. Up the middle. And let's see, it looks like he got it. Davon Tucker, he did get just enough for that 1st down.
It's good to just see them go straight downhill, not reading, but just going downhill, letting the big guy fall forward, using his physical athletic ability to get that extra yard.
Right behind Odell Miller again, that big tight end, 270 pounds. He's made some good plays in the short yardage for Western.
Chase Brown comes back in, had those big runs earlier in this drive. They give it to him again. 2-yard run for Brown. And every time you're a ball carrier against this Michigan defense, you know you're going to take a hit.
And these Western guys have not shied away. Other than the slide we saw from Wasnik earlier in the game, these guys, they're not backing down. They're here to get hit, and they're getting hit a lot.
They made the trip from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Gotta love the name of the stadium they play in, Waldo Stadium. Where's Waldo?
Kalamazoo.
2nd down and 8. Tip ball! Nearly picked off. Tyreek Cannell made a diving effort. Jalen Hall, the intended receiver. And of course, we showed the baseball promo earlier. You can see this tipped. Great effort by Cannell, but Kalamazoo, the home of Derek Jeter.
Oh, Derek Jeter.
He was born in Manhattan.
Went to Kalamazoo Central. And we're going to have a flag against Ambry Thomas in the secondary for Michigan against Jalen Hall.
Ambry Thomas was all over him there. I mean, we know they like to be physical, but you can't hold him at the top of his route.
Number 1, 10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
He's all over him. You can see the left hand wrapping around the jersey. Shoulder pad is out. That's when you know. That's when you know. You don't even, the receiver doesn't have to do anything. When the shoulder pad is outside of the jersey, it's a defensive pass interference.
This is the deepest that Western Michigan has been in Michigan territory today. There's Chase Brown again. Gets a yard. Aiden Hutchinson with the tackle. Under 4 to go here in this fourth quarter. Incomplete.
You can hear the pads pop still in this game. You know, it's deep into the fourth quarter here, and not a lot of starters out there for Michigan. But, man, are they still hitting. This has been a physical game for 4 quarters.
Every team that Jim Harbaugh has coached, they've been a physical team. You look at Stanford, you look at the 49ers, now Michigan. They are blue-collar, physical teams on both sides of the ball, not just offense, not just defense, as well as special teams, too. So I'm sure from top to bottom, they preach physicality.
3rd and 9. Wasik, pressure. Wasik goes down. Jordan Anthony able to take down John Wasik.
You can see just a little bit of a loop there, and everybody just starts to beat one-on-one blocking. These are things that you can do when you have that press coverage that you trust on the edge, and we've been talking about all day. And Western's just going to try to get some points on the board here, see if they can work their field goal team.
A 35-yard attempt for Josh Grant to avoid a shutout. Play clock is at 2. And a timeout.
Delay of game.
No timeout.
Offense, number 37, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
That's going to upset Coach Lester. He's trying to teach some situational football. This is the deepest they've been. Taking a delay of game penalty there is just not ideal.
So now a 40-yard field goal attempt. And that is blocked. Again on special teams, but there is a flag on the far side of the field.
I think he left a little early.
Yeah, I think Ambry Thomas left a little early there.
Defense, number 1, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Well, you get another chance at a 35-yarder.
There's Ambry lined up in all fours like a nose guard. Like he's about to run the 100 and just takes off a little early. It's a good piece of the kicker, too. You want that aggressiveness, though. We're going to see aggressive plays all year from Michigan.
So it's back to a 35-yarder here for Josh Grant. And Grant draws it in beautifully. And that will put Western Michigan on the board with 2:34 to go. It is 49-3, Michigan on top. 2 yards between a couple of players, 282 total rushing yards for Michigan. Ambry Thomas on the return here. Thomas. They'll get tackled inside the 20-yard line. Well, we were talking about Jim Harbaugh and his team and how they're like a blue-collar team? Well, that's because his dad, Jack Harbaugh, was a coach. His brother, John, is a coach in the NFL. They both were on the same staff at Western Michigan, while Jim was playing here at Michigan as the quarterback.
A great football lineage with Jim Harbaugh, and I hope my kids talk about me the way Jim and his brother talk about their father, and what a great man he is. We really are a football family and do a lot of good things for young people.
Brandon Peters now in at quarterback. And True Wilson. You can hear the fans yelling, True. It is something, though, Petros, you mentioned it. I mean, just asking him about his dad yesterday during our meeting, he lit up. He said he's the best dad ever.
Well, it's one of the lines that's really proliferated throughout his career. You know, when Jack Harbaugh used to drop Jim off at school, he'd say, you know, go about your day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. And I heard that on the PA in the stadium. They use it now to pump up the crowd. And they used it at Stanford, and they used it at the University of San Diego. I don't know how it went over in the NFL.
Drake Spears on the tackle.
It's different motivating those guys.
Second and 5.
But he certainly is a football person. He lives it and breathes it, and he's dressed exactly the same every day, like an action figure.
Second down and 5. Amari Samuels is now in at tailback. And Samuels up the middle will get 4. 3rd and 1 coming up. Coming up on a minute to go here in this one.
It's going to be hard for Michigan not to feel good about this, huh?
Yes. Just looking at this game as opposed to last game, their offense did an unbelievable job running the ball, and they controlled the line of scrimmage. That's what they want to do, control the line of scrimmage, let this offensive line take over the game. And Shea Patterson, how about Shea Patterson taking the ball downfield, throwing deep balls and completing them.
The producer for today's game is Kevin Patterson. Our director is Renardo Lowe. Our technical producer, Mark Alsmeyer. Associate director, Caden Pfeiffer. Broadcast associates, Daniel Ranoff and Matt Gossip. Our spotter up here in the booth, Ken Trevor. Our stats by Scott Lightman. 49-3. Michigan leading Western Michigan. And that should be the final play of the game. After a loss last week at Notre Dame, Michigan, their defense turned it up about halfway through that second quarter last week. They had it going all game long this week, and their offense certainly showed up. In the run game, 308 yards, 143 passing yards. As Michigan, number 21 in the country, defeats Western Michigan by the score of 49-3. For DeMarco Murray, Petros Papadakis, and our entire crew, I'm Justin Kutcher saying so long from Ann Arbor. Let's go to Rob Stone in LA.